Internet, hello and welcome to another episode of Koi Cube. Sorry for the later show today. I had a bunch of schmo business. There's a bunch of really cool schmodown stuff coming up right around the corner and had to get sorted there, so we're doing a slightly later show today. And as a reminder, next week I'm probably taking off, but I might come in to do like a Q&A because on my birthday it'd be fun to not prep a show. So I might come back next Tuesday to just do a fun birthday hangout, but there won't be a usual Koi Cube. So we'll see what happens depending on how birthday week goes. My actual birthday is on Tuesday, so a slight home staycation would be lovely. This week we'll be talking about the absolutely incredible Marvel's Avengers game. I do not know why this game is getting so much hate, but I am not a gamer, so maybe there's stuff about gaming I don't understand. We're going to be talking about it. I love it like very few games. I'm not much of a gamer, but this one really got me. So much so that I want to play more games, not just this game. And I've played a lot of other games in between Spider-Man and this game that didn't have me have that feeling. So we'll talk about that. We're going to talk about the Cindy Moon / Silk TV show that's happening, coming from Lord and Miller, which is very exciting. We're going to be talking about the fact that Borat 2, yes, Borat 2, has already quietly finished filming. Apparently Sasha Baron Cohen has been running around quietly filming a sequel to Borat, and it's already done. He's already screened it for a few studio folk. I'm intrigued. Borat 1 changed a lot of what comedy was for a very long time, so we'll talk about that. And we got streaming recs, we got comic pull lists, we got all sorts of stuff. So let's dive in first with last week's last two Streamlabs. These came in just under the wire, and I always check my Streamlabs, but we ended the show talking about the incredible Chadwick Boseman, and I did not check the very, very last of the Streamlabs. So I want to give a shout out to Jesus Gastelum, who said the Avengers game had a war table which was supposed to reveal Black Panther, but instead revealed Kate Bishop, which is cool, and respected Chadwick Boseman very well in the beginning of the video. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. So thank you very much for those kind words and for the Streamlab. Yeah, I'm very excited for Black Panther to be part of this team down the line. I'm very excited for Kate Bishop. I'm a huge Kate Bishop fan. I think this game is immense. I don't quite understand how a game can be as big as this game is, as someone who hasn't been gaming all that much. It's really, really, really cool for me. But I'm very excited for Black Panther and Kate Bishop and Spider-Man, because I'm a PlayStation guy down the line. Mukbang Reviews, just support, and you are a great Schmodown manager and coach. Good luck, and thanks for the shows. I appreciate you, as ever, Mukbang Reviews. I have a lot of really cool Schmodown stuff coming up. They're going to announce some cool stuff over at Skybound/Schmodown that involves the Quirky Mercs very soon, and as ever, scheming the next step in the Kevin Smith Schmodown trajectory. That man is 1 and 0. Where am I putting Kevin next? These are the questions. So a lot of really cool Schmodown stuff coming up. Very excited for the singles tournament, for the teams tournament, for all sorts of stuff coming up in the fall. All right, let's get into the Marvel's Avengers Q&A. I'm going to leave the Streamlabs real quick. Oh, I won't actually, because this just popped up. See the little zombie guy right there? The ever-fantastic Mr. Michael McCarcel. I truly can't imagine what Borat in the 2020s will be like. I remember quoting it with my friends all the time throughout high school. Okay, let's kick it off with Borat, because that is probably the most breaking of news, because this just got uncovered today. Let's talk Borat. It's only a little bit of news because it's a crazy circumstance. You can't make Borat in 2020, I don't think, and they did. I don't know how this kind of humor will translate to our very, very different sensibilities in 2020. I don't know how they got away with filming an entire movie with very little leaking. There was a photo of him on a RNC kind of platform, a very Republican convening of people in a different character, and then recently there was a shot of him, a little short 15-second video. Someone saw Sasha Baron Cohen driving a truck around LA that was being towed, like it was film driving a truck, and someone caught footage of Sasha Baron Cohen as Borat. So what I'm hearing about the movie is it's Borat playing Sasha Baron Cohen playing Borat, because it is a sequel to Borat wherein Borat the character is now world famous because of the success of Borat the movie. So it's a documentary, real life, art imitating life follow-up to Borat, which is as meta as it gets. I'm sure it's going to be insane. I'm fascinated by everything that's going to be coming with the insanity of Sasha Baron Cohen. I think he's a comedy genius. I, once again, have no idea how that comedy will land in 2020. I don't know if he'll be handling things differently. I know it's very important that we have, the kind of comedy discourse that he brings. He's very politically minded. I'm very curious about that. I assume this is going to end up on a streaming service, especially with movie theaters being closed, but I think in general it was going to want to come out before the election. It's done. I mean, this could come out in October. We might get a very surprise, sudden Borat movie. So Borat 2 is wrapped, and that is very, very exciting. So I can't wait. I love the first one. I own the first one. I wasn't as big on The Dictator or Bruno, but I think the first Borat is a very interesting evolution in comedy, especially in the Jackass-style humor and found footage and prank kind of stuff, because it's such an immersive character, and it doesn't really hurt anyone around him like some pranks do, and I think he's a comedy genius. So Sasha Baron Cohen, Borat 2, it's coming at us. I would say we're probably going to get it as soon as October. I think we'll get it before the election. So fascinating stuff. Okay, we got another Streamlab over here from Roman Carlisle, who says, "Hey Coy, how do you think the MCU will move on without Black Panther? They just can't write him off, right?" I think that there's every website or even YouTuber, anyone that decided to monetize, like if people did those articles that shouldn't have been monetized, like within minutes of him dying, those articles about like who should take over Black Panther, what should Marvel do? Like, I get you need clicks to keep your site on, I get you're paying bills, but that was fucked up. So it's been 2 weeks. I feel like this is a fair time to have this conversation, but I do think it was inappropriate for a lot of people to dive into that right away. And especially the YouTubers that like monetized it just made me uncomfortable. I didn't even I talked about it last week, and I it's hard because I made him a part of the thumbnail because it's really important to me, but I didn't want to sensationalize someone dying and turning it into it. Anyway, now that it's been a couple weeks, I feel like this is an appropriate time to say, I think what you do with Black Panther is you follow the comic book. Black Panther is a mantle that's passed on. It's James Bond is multiple people, and there's a Bond quality to Black Panther, and even beyond that, the actual in-canon Black Panther mantle was passed on from ancestor to ancestor. Like, there's an entire ancestral plane of different Black Panthers for a reason, which is really cool, because I think they should have Chadwick get another appearance as like a Force ghost kind of thing. I want to see Chadwick in the ancestral plane with his other Black Panthers. I think that'd be really beautiful. I think that's what they were planning on doing with Michael B. Jordan, because he was a Black Panther and then he died after having been a Black Panther, so I think he's welcome there. I thought they were going to have him as kind of the moral compass going the other direction for Chadwick, because it was really interesting how Black Panther started seeing Killmonger's perspective and even utilizing it at the end of the first film. So I thought Michael B. Jordan was going to come back as one of the ancestors that spoke and gave advice to Black Panther. So I would love to see both Michael B. Jordan and Chadwick Boseman getting to reunite in the ancestral plane and then passing it to Shuri. It's canon. It's also important. It's bad enough that there's like one giant black superhero to every 20 white superheroes. There should be a lot more balance to that, but I think the obvious choice is Shuri, because that's what they do in the comics. That's the incredibly inspired choice with Letitia Wright. That is a great opportunity for little girls to have a hero that looks like them on the big screen. She's very capable. We would avoid the problem of Ant-Man 1, where they were like, look at the Wasp, he does everything better than me, why am I doing it? I don't know. And then in the second movie they fixed that. I think Letitia Wright kept up incredibly with the powerhouse set of actors in the first movie. Let her take the mantle, We already love the character, we've already been introduced to her. Instead of making her Riri Williams, which I was thinking / a little afraid they were going to do, make her Black Panther. Have the tech, have the knowledge, have the strength, have her don the mantle. I think it's right there. So that's what I would do, and I think it's the most obvious choice. I also think it's canon. I also think it's a great opportunity. So we got some more super chats. You guys are incredible today. Thank you so much. And then we'll get into Marvel's Avengers, but I want to make sure I get to these. Jesus Gastelum, thank you. Welcome back. I enjoyed the story of the Avengers game. Best thing to come out of 2020 that is not a comic book movie, but sort of is. Not sure why they hate, nevertheless was an enjoyable game. Can't wait for the DLC to drop, and it's all free. Jesus, thank you for saying each and every one of those words. I completely agree with you, and when we get into my Avengers review, I second to everything you said and then some, so thank you. I totally agree. Vanko, I know it's really soon, but I'd love for Shuri to take the mantle. Maybe how soon it is part of the struggle. Yeah, I mean, I think that having the conversation about losing your brother is going to have to be part of the movie, whether or not they do another Black Panther movie. They will. They need to. We didn't just lose an actor. We lost an icon. We didn't just lose someone that was important to movies. We lost someone that was important to an entire culture. We didn't just lose a man. We lost a pop culture figure. That's not something you can just move on from. So I assume they'll have to address that, whether it's in an Avengers movie or the next Black Panther movie. It will have to be addressed, and I think you should do it with respect and admiration. And I think respect and admiration is putting Black Panther in the ancestral plane and passing the mantle to Shuri, because I assume that's what Chadwick would have wanted. I know he would want people to continue being inspired by the character. I know he would want people to, follow a hero that means so much to so many people. That movie made $1 billion for a reason. That movie is everything to so many people for a reason. So I do think it being soon will have to be addressed, and I do think it's something that's going to have to come up in the next phase of film. So, crazy. Embrace your life. We never know when it's over. You never know. Like, he was 43, man. Crazy. Oh, it's awful. It's still, Jesus! I think that for Marvel's The Avengers, I think it'd be great if Black Panther was voiced by the voice actor who did the animated series. I agree, man. The animated series was solid. John Schnepp worked on the animated series. I really, really think that the animated series had a lot of merit. It was around the Reggie Hudlin, John Romita Jr. run, which I really dug. It was really fun and smart, and I think that voice actor really nailed it. So I would love to see that voice actor handle the video game. I don't know who they got, but I'm excited. I've really enjoyed the voice cast as well, and I'll talk about that when we get to the review. One last Streamlab, and then I'm going to jump over to reviewing Marvel's Avengers. Jimmy Mac 9588. Coy Mate, loving the Australia, and there's a little A, now it makes sense. Coy Mate, loving the Avengers game, a ton of fun and such a wide world to play in. Glad to see you're enjoying it so much. Love Three Jokers 2 and waiting patiently for issue 2. Here's beer money as always. Thank you very much, especially with my birthday week. Next week I am going to be taking as much time as I can off. I intended to take the entire week off because quarantine means you can't really do much, so my celebration was just going to be time off. Of course, 3 work things have popped up so far, but I'm really trying to say no to as much as I can. But that said, I think a Q&A with you guys would be a lot of fun. So Tuesday, the actual day of my birthday, my usual Koi Cube day, I think I am going to be popping in for a Q&A, but I'm not 100% because I don't want to prep anything. I want to try to take some time. That also said, when we come back the following week, the 3rd week of September, this is going to be 2 shows a week that are shorter instead of 1 long show. So we'll be coming back with a new format later in the month. So let's get into Marvel's Avengers, shall we? Marvel's Avengers is, to me, the evolution of my love of video games past Spider-Man PS4. I'm not saying it's a better game than Spider-Man PS4. I'm saying my evolution of loving games has evolved because of this game. So don't misquote me. I think Spider-Man PS4 is the best game I've ever played. Spider-Man PS4 is an A+. Spider-Man PS4 is it's Avengers. It's Winter Soldier. And this game so far for me is a solid A-, which I did not expect. This is Iron Man. This is genre redefining. This is an entirely new experience, at least for me. Now, I don't play a lot of games, so I don't know how common this scope of game is. I don't play massive multiplayer RPGs, which is an entire genre, because it's too overwhelming for me. And also the lore and characters, that seems like a whole other thing to invest in. Whereas the beauty of this game is it's the scope of what those games seem to be, but it's characters I already know the backstory of and I'm already invested in. So for me personally, this is perfect. I actually feel like I'm playing as individual Avengers. I actually feel like I'm Thor when I'm Thor. I actually feel like Kamala Khan, and Kamala Khan is getting an entire arc. The story, the game campaign, that's what I'm looking for. The campaign mode is a beautiful Kamala Khan story. It is so much fun to learn all about the character in this universe. It is so immersive. It is so Kamala Khan. She's, I think, our modern day Spider-Man. She's got the family that cares about her, that she's worried about. She loves her hometown. There's a lot of Jersey love. It's a character in itself. She's got all the problems of trying to balance regular day-to-day life and being a superhero by night. There's love and cute, teen romance stuff. She's a very Silver Age Spider-Man character. What better eyeline than Kamala Khan for an overarching story like this? What better universe to fully meet a character where we get 30 hours of time with her instead of 1? I think this is a great way to introduce the world to Kamala Khan leading up to the Disney Plus show. I also, just speaking of the universe they built for Avengers, this is this beautiful mix of our universe. There's clothes and merch that you can actually buy in our universe. The comic book universe, those covers are all comic book covers that you can pick up. They're all iconic, classic comic book covers. And the MCU. I'm not that far into the game yet. I'm only 14% because I'm a bad gamer. I'm not good at games, but I'm 14% in. We've had scenes from Age of Ultron. I think there's scenes from other stuff coming up. I don't know. Please don't spoil it for me. But I think it's blending our universe, the comic universe, and the movie universe into one new universe that is the gaming universe. I think this is going to be just as big as Iron Man. I think we're going to look back, and 2020's Marvel's Avengers is going to be just as big of a springboard as 2008's Iron Man. I think this is a giant leap forward in what comic book video games can be, that with understanding how good the Spider-Man game is, how good the Arkham games are, how good, we've had games in the past. For me, it is insane that this game is this good. And I feel like I'm all these different characters. Now, I personally am... Where am I? I played as Kamala. I've played as Bruce briefly. I've played as... I have not played as Thor again since the prologue. I'm currently Iron Man, and I got through the silver suit I'm wearing because that aim mission was so dope when you're like a jet. Also, you can fly, and it feels like flying, which is incredible. Holy crap. I'm Iron Man right now, and I'm trying to defend an AIM little thing from other people so Jarvis can get into the system, and I just got the Hulkbuster armor for the very first time. That's where I am. So I'm 14% in according to campaign mode, and I just discovered Hulkbuster bitchiness, which is so fucking cool. I love that armor. It's bitchin'. It's so rad to just feel the power. And actually, that brings me to a good point. Let's break down the characters. Each character feels like the comic book to me, and each character feels like they should fight that way. So Thor is a little faster than some of the other characters, and Mjolnir is incredible and lightning, and he feels like this incredibly powerful character because he's a god. Iron Man is great because you literally can fly. The repulsor rays feel awesome. I love that his fighting style, whether it's the dodges or the charges, feel like how Iron Man would utilize his suit. He's a little slower when he's a regular guy because he's just a regular guy. I love all of that. I love that there's pros and cons to each character. I think the most fun character to play as so far is either Kamala or Hulk. Kamala is very fast. I love fast characters. Surprise, surprise. And I love that she's got a good distance and close fighting style because of her abilities. I love how clever her character is. Like, you can swing and you can do all sorts of things because of her inhuman abilities. So I think Kamala's a blast to play with, but also Hulk straight up feels like the movie. That's another movie moment. There's a moment where you're chasing Kamala, or Kamala's being chased by Hulk. I don't remember. Yeah, you're Kamala. When Hulk is chasing Kamala, and it's right from the movie. It's literally a shot from Avengers where where Hulk's chasing Black Widow, and they recreated that in our universe. So they're referencing comics and movies and our reality and everything so beautifully. And also, just as a point of reference, I walked the Infinity War red carpet. The actual Infinity War red carpet felt just like the opening of this game where you're walking that red carpet through all the heroes. They recreated an experience I had in a video game, and I got to re-experience a video game. I got to re-experience a moment in my life through a video game playing as Kamala Khan. So it's been very surreal, a very cool experience. I love it. In the prologue, we got to play as Black Widow briefly. She was the hardest one for me to navigate because I'm not good at shooting. I find the autopilot with Iron Man a little easier, so I need to play as Black Widow more. I haven't played as her very much. And Captain America, obviously, there's not a lot of time to play as him. But I love how different and individual every character feels. I'm fascinated by what we're going to get with Kate Bishop. Kate Bishop's coming. I imagine like all the archery stuff will be a lot like the old Legolas in Lord of the Rings games on PS2. That was the last thing I played with the bow and arrow. I can't imagine how cool it's going to be playing as Spider-Man, because flying as Iron Man gets a lot of crap, but I think it's so cool that I can just press X and hover, and then I've got an entire new axis. I've got the Z-axis. All the other characters have the X and Y axis. I've got the Z-axis when I'm Iron Man, and that's so much fun to play as. And I think Spider-Man's going to be the same. I'll be able to swing around in certain levels and stuff. That's going to be incredible. Black Panther, I think, is going to be a lot like Thor, where he's very powerful and he's very nimble and fast. It's so cool. And then as far as the actual game itself, The graphics are not what I'm used to, but I got used to it very quickly. It's like when you watch a Leica movie or something that's like not used to your eyes. I got used to the style of animation very quickly. It's like slightly surrealistic version of our reality. It's almost photoreal, so the uncanny valley's there. But characters that aren't human, like the Hulk, looks incredible. He looks like he did in the Avengers. Like the animation on inhuman characters looks great because the uncanny valley is on a different level because you know that the Hulk's not real. And I think that's part of the problem is Black Widow's a human, like Scarlett Johansson is a person. This isn't the movie character, but sorry, let's say Natasha Romanoff. Natasha Romanoff is a human being, so it's tricky to watch something that a human being is supposed to look like when it's a character. It's like the Final Fantasy movie, like you know that's a person. So that's tricky, but I do think the voice cast is absolutely incredible. I love especially Hulk. I think the Bruce Banner actor is nailing it. He's got the charm with also like watching his rage, and he seems intelligent and he's well spoken. All of that's great. The fun of Tony Stark is there, the snarkiness. Whoever's playing Kamala Khan is a genius. You're so instantly endeared to her and you feel like she's a big fan of these people, but you're also not annoyed by her fangirlness. Like sometimes when you have a character in a game that's like a fanboy or a fangirl, you're like, I get it. They don't wear that trope out. It's really solid and it's authentic feeling. So I like that no one's doing an impression of anything. Like no one's doing a Chris Hemsworth impression as Thor. He feels like a mix of Ultimate Thor and movie Thor. He feels like a medley. He doesn't feel like someone ripping off Chris Hemsworth. But he still has that, like, I'm a god, like charm and gravitas and boisterousness. So it's so good. Honestly, I don't understand why people don't like it. I'm a big fan of everything it's doing so far. I'm seeing some names in here. Travis Willingham, Laura Bailey, Nolan North, Troy Baker, Darren DePaul, Jeff Shine, and Sandra Saad. So I don't know voice actors at all because I'm not as invested in the world of animation and video games as a lot of people are. So Travis, I only know because I went to Burning Man with him once, and I know Travis as a man. Travis is a great human being, and I think he did Spider-Man voice work too. But I don't know the rest of these folk, but they're doing incredible work. I'm a huge fan of all of these folk from this game. I think they're nailing it. And I really don't get the hate. I love this game. It's up there with Spider-Man for me. I have, since playing Spider-Man, I've tried a lot of the classic games. I've tried, yes, and my friend Erica Ishii's in it too. Erica is getting to live the dream playing Amadeus Cho's sister. That's so cool. She's part of the Marvel Universe, like canon. Good for Erica. That's really rad. I played a couple of the like classic games that are like the games I missed, and I've enjoyed them, but none of them have got me to do with 6-hour binges. You know, like none of the classic games that everyone says are like the next best thing. I'm personally not a gamer in the same way that some people don't like reading 100 comics, in the same way that some people don't like watching like 3 movies at once. Like there's certain types of things, so I'm not disparaging the entire gaming world in any way. I didn't play, I played The Last of Us for like 3 or 4 hours, and then I had to get back to work. I couldn't keep investing in it, and I will play it again. I very much look forward to playing it again, but I didn't have the same addiction that this game is giving me. I'm thinking about Avengers right now. Obviously, I'm talking about it, but I'm trying to get my work done for the day so I have time to play Avengers. And that is so rare for me, and that hasn't happened since Spider-Man 2 years ago in 2018. So for me, this is everything I wanted more. For me, this is what I never thought we'd get. I never thought it would feel like you were playing as multiple Avengers in one game. I never thought it would feel like you actually were in someone else's body and they'd be able to play with all those different, like, play with the equalizer levels. I never thought they'd land it, and they really did. And it's huge. It's so many universes. It's so much of the comic lore. It is so much of what I love about the characters in the movies, the comics, and in real life. And right there, that name, Mike Moda, that just said assemble, this is thanks to that gentleman right there and my good buddy Aaron King. Mike Moda and Aaron King are two of my best friends in the world, and I've known them since I was 14. I think Aaron's 16, but I've known them since I was a teenager back in Boston, and they got this game for me for my birthday. They chipped in, and they sent this. I got it in the mail. So on the 4th, I got Marvel's Avengers thanks to Mike Moda and Aaron King, who I am ever so appreciative of, both as like friends, because I'm appreciative of our friendship, but also the getting this game is so rad. So Mike Moda, thank you. Aaron King, thank you. And I'm in love. I've also played, what else have I played? I played some Deadpool. I played a little bit of Arkham Knights, and I own Second Son and Uncharted, the big mega set. So those will be the next things I play over the course of the next couple of years. But I'm gonna beat this fucking game because I love it. And I'm literally, like I said, as soon as I'm done with my work, I dive into this. And I usually have such a hard time stopping working. It's unhealthy, but I usually wake up with my phone in my hand, charged and plugged into the wall, open my emails, start working, and then I work throughout the day, sometimes pausing to eat, sometimes forgetting. I go to bed, and then I fall asleep with my phone in my hand reading comics. I don't generally stop and take time for myself. And that's part of why I decided not to stream this first playthrough. I might stream an additional playthrough. I might stream once I've beaten the game and I'm doing side missions and stuff. But I thought if I added Twitch to my already I don't take time for myself repertoire, I might go insane. So it's been really funny. I've thought about streaming a number of times while I was playing because I'm losing my mind playing this game. I stand up, I cheer, I like bounce around. I've definitely had like shock and surprise moments. I've definitely yelled at this. Like I've done all the things I know that I would want to see if someone was like watching play. Like I don't watch play-alongs often, but when I do, there are people that are super excited. Like when it brings me in, I'm like, yes. But I know that I would feel like I was turning it into work, and that scares me because I turn everything into work. So for now, I'm tagging out of not doing it on Twitch, but I definitely will do it after a playthrough, or maybe once I've played it enough that it doesn't feel like I've taken away this gift of not work from myself. So maybe Twitch down the line. I'm not saying no, I'm just saying not right now because I need one thing to be just for fun. So we got some, so A- for me, by the way. This game is an A-. It is everything I expected and more. I thought I would get like a B out of this because the reviews were rough, and I thought that the novelty of it would elevate it to a B for me, even though I'm not a gamer. It is a solid A-. It's got a couple little things that glitched out on me, and it's got a couple things that are frustrating. But like, it's impeccable. I love this game. I couldn't recommend it more. Please do pick it up. We got a super chat from the great Wesley Marshall. If I had to venture a guess, it's the character models looking sort of wonky in terms of quality, and maybe the game is similar to others. It might feel like a copy and paste, but I'm enjoying it. So this could be the benefit of me not playing games, because I've never played anything like this in my life. So I don't know which games it would be like, and that's a gift. I love that I have never done anything like this. So for me, this is groundbreaking. So maybe that's the issue, and like I said, the Uncanny Valley thing with the visuals is hard because they're not trying to make like Ultimate Spider-Man where it was cel-shaded. Again, all my references to games are going to be PS2. The PS2 Ultimate Spider-Man game was cel-shaded, so it was very comic booky. It wasn't very human looking. So I think that allowed a lot of slack, and I think this movie, see? This looks like movies. This looks like it's in our day-to-day life, so I think those graphics might be throwing people off. But when I think about like when you're in the helicarrier and Iron Man standing there, Hulk standing there, or Kamala standing there, it looks incredible. Like, it looks so dope. To me, this looks better than I would have expected. Again, not a gamer. And it just came out. The bugs will get fixed, and it's gonna be like, this game, from what I understand, is gonna be updated and upgraded forever. Like, we own it, so now there's gonna be new characters, there's gonna be more levels, and it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's what I mean by I don't understand. Like, I've never played anything that doesn't have an end and that there's more coming. Like, to me, games are like, board games. They end. So it's really interesting to me that we're going to get to just keep playing this game, and that's all new to me. So I know that's something that's been going on since, like, Myst and shit, but to me, groundbreaking. To me, I get a new universe I get to dive into. I get an entirely new Avengers realm. This is like comics. This is me discovering a new fucking world. So, A-, deeply in love with it. Wesley Marshall says, Travis Willingham is Thor, Laura Bailey is Black Widow, Nolan North is Iron Man. I believe that name is also, he does Deadpool stuff, I believe, and he's incredible as Iron Man, so much love to Nolan North. Troy Baker is Banner. Probably my favorite voice actor is Troy Baker. Troy Baker and Kamala are probably my top two. Darren DePaul is Hulk. Oh, that's funny, different, yeah. Jeff Shine is Cap. Sandra Saad is Kamala. Sandra Saad, top-notch work. I'm impressed. Thank you for all you're doing for Kamala, because I think she's an incredible character. And I think she's someone that, like, this is going to bring her into homes. Like, she's going to be a household name very, very soon. So that's because of this game, which is so dope. And Wesley Marshall also says, one last fact, Darren DePaul played JJ in Spider-Man PS4, and Travis played Fisk in Spider-Man PS4. I knew he played someone in Spider-Man. Travis played Fisk in Spider-Man PS4. He did a great job there, and he's doing an incredible job as Thor, which I'm really, really enjoying. I love that JJ is the voice of Hulk. I would never have put that together. That's really cool. Thank you, Wesley. That's rad. Yeah, I had no idea. That's so dope. Okay, so overall, I hope that covers some. I know a lot of people have been asking me like how I love the game so much and like what is it that I'm getting out of it. Hopefully that answers your questions because it is everything to me and it's surprising the hell out of me. So I'm really enjoying it. So pick up Marvel's The Avengers. I think it's genre redefining, and I know that's coming from a non-gamer. And I think as a comic book fan, it is everything I want out of a comic book video game. As a Avengers fan, it's everything I want out of playing these characters I know and love and I've been raised reading. It is fucking great. So, pick up Marvel's The Avengers if you haven't yet. It's dope as hell. And thank you to Wesley Marshall for all the casting stuff that I didn't know. That's really rad to have some more information about this incredible game. Okay, let's go to some more news, and I will come back to the Streamlabs in just a moment after we talk about Black Panther. Now, we opened the show talking about the loss of Chadwick and what I would do with the next movie, but the best thing you can do right now is on Comixology, thanks to Marvel, all Black Panther issues are free. $0. You can literally put 150, that's as big as the checkout allows, you can put 150 comic books that are Black Panther and pay $0 on Comixology. Marvel is honoring the great Chadwick Boseman by getting people to read Black Panther comics. This character is so important. These comics are so important. It's fantastic they're doing this. It literally Shuri books, Killmonger books, Black Panther books, all free right now on Comixology. I recommend the Reggie Hudlin run with John Romita Jr. on art. I'm a huge fan. I recommend the Christopher Priest run. I would probably start with the Christopher Priest run. I think Christopher Priest is one of the iconic Black Panther writers. I highly recommend that run. I think if you want to see him as part of a team, Brian Michael Bendis' New Avengers stuff is really cool for the team dynamic with Black Panther if you're looking for more of an Avengers thing. So depending on which Black Panther you want to immerse yourself in. Also, if you want to be a completionist, go back to Stan Lee, man. Go back to the OG. Go back to like where it all started. Read Black Panther from the Silver Age and see how much that character has shaped pop culture and how much he's evolved through pop culture. Black Panther was invented before the Black Panther movement. The character of Black Panther predates the Black Panthers, and then when they were seen as a negative group by some people, they changed his name to Black Leopard for a while, and then he reclaimed the name Black Panther when we saw that the Black Panthers were doing some things right. Very complicated history and very important character. So 3 jumping on points. The original Stan Lee, Black Panther. Christopher Priest's Black Panther. Reggie Hudlin's Black Panther. Reggie Hudlin is probably 2005, thereabouts, and that would be the most modern good jumping on point, but any of those 3 are what I recommend for jumping on points for Black Panther. $0, Comixology, go learn about the glory that is T'Challa. Also pick up the Shuri miniseries, that was 2 years ago. There's a Killmonger miniseries that was like last year, I believe, maybe early 2019. I talked about it a lot on comic book shopping. I'm a big fan of the Killmonger series, so there's a lot of really good stuff all for free thanks to Marvel and Comixology, which is a really cool opportunity, and I think it's really rad they're doing that. So head over there to check those things out. We also found out officially this week that we are getting Mandalorian Season 2 on October 30th. It is official. Mandalorian Season 2. We're getting a trailer very soon, and I cannot wait. I love the first season of Mandalorian. Personally, it's my favorite Star Wars thing alongside The Last Jedi since Empire, to be honest. Like, Mandalorian felt like classic Star Wars, and it felt like it was able to branch out into a new world, and I really enjoyed it. Moda, check out Black Panther, man. Get over there. Comixology, free. Add 150 comics. Get them. Mandalorian was everything, so I'm really excited for Season 2. I'm sure they only got better because they learned how to use the technology more and more. They learned what people liked about the story. They filmed all of this pre-COVID, so they were able to, actually use stunts and everything else, which is going to be tricky going forward. I think The Mandalorian is a very inventive, creative way to expand a universe, and I'm very excited. So, will we see Sarlacc pit stuff? Will we see, obviously we're going to see more Baby Yoda. Will we find out what the child's name is, because it's not actually Baby Yoda? There's so much cool shit coming. I hope Bill Burr comes back. He won't, but I really want more Bill Burr. Mandalorian Season 2, October 30th, Disney+. Hell yeah, I'm excited. Halloween show this year, since we don't get a Stranger Things, we get that Mandalorian. All right, next up, the Cindy Moon Silk Show. Cindy Moon is a new-ish character in the pantheon of Spider-Man, and she is getting a show on Sony thanks to Lord & Miller. You might have remembered a couple years ago they greenlit, soft greenlight, I think, a Cindy Moon Silk movie, and I'm pretty sure they're adapting that into a show. So I think it's a better idea to have a show because, again, there's not a lot of female superheroes. It'd be great to have more time to learn them and know them. If you think about it, we've got Black Widow and Captain Marvel at Marvel, and Black Widow still hasn't had her movie out yet because of the world. But Wonder Woman at DC, like, there's not a lot, and now we have Birds of Prey, but, like, we could use some more time, you know, with these awesome female characters. So I personally wouldn't start with Silk because I think that she's a character that ties directly into a version of Spider-Man we don't have in movies yet, but I think she herself is a really cool character. When they first introduced Silk, she was very much a yin to Spider-Man's yang in a very interesting new way. Her pheromones activated Peter's, and they both were like lusting for each other. Now this was an adult Spider-Man, like in his 30s. He was like a college professor. This wasn't a young Spider-Man, but they were all over each other, and it was really interesting because you hadn't seen that since Black Widow storylines. You hadn't seen that side of Peter Parker, and it was cool that they tied into that animal totem concept, the animalistic draw, and Spider-Man having all these animal villains. Now they made an animal, kind of companion character, and what that lusting led to each other. And it was an interesting dynamic, and it was a cool storyline. Then Silk became a younger character, and obviously with a younger Tom Holland, that's a tricky thing to do. The only thing I could see it working with is if they do it like as a high school crush. Like if you have the hormones, pheromones of teenagers like lusting after each other. But we finally just got Mary Jane, and like I don't want them to mess with MJ and Pete's relationship because it just started. And I don't think Tom Holland's gonna have time to do that much television. So I think what they're gonna do is Silk is gonna exist by herself, and her story on her own is interesting. She was trapped in a vault for years, so she's got this fish out of water thing that's great. Her spider powers are very similar to Spider-Man's because it's a similar incident that happened. Her costume is webbing some of the time, which I doubt they'll do if they go younger. But she's a really cool character, and she's an Asian American character. And again, there's not a lot of those characters getting their time on the big screen or small screen, so that'll be really cool. I'm curious what storyline they go with. I'm curious what the tone of the show is going to be. I'd love to see like a John Hughes continuation of Homecoming. I really think there's an opportunity here to have a really cool mid-budget TV show. What is also interesting is that Sony doesn't have a streaming platform. So this is likely going to land somewhere and then land on Hulu for the Marvel deal. Marvel has like a setup with Hulu because Fox owned Hulu and now Disney owns Fox. So Hulu's where it'll land eventually, but will there be a new platform for Sony Universe of Marvel character shows, like a premium network that happens first with Silk? That's the question I have, because Lord & Miller signed a seven-figure deal for the Spider-Man universe after Spider-Verse did so well. So this is the first of many. We're getting an entire universe of Spider-Man characters, and we haven't had the Kraven movie yet because they just greenlit it. We've had Venom, but he hasn't tied into Spider-Man yet. Morbius clearly ties into Spider-Man, but in what ways we don't know yet. So everything is just starting to percolate, and this is going to be huge. So expect the Sony universe of Marvel characters to surprise a lot of people. I, for one, am excited because I don't want everything to feel like the MCU. I love the MCU, but I like the scope of different universes. So with this show, we expand the universe, and that's a great thing. All right, so moving over to, we talked about Borat already. We opened with Borat because we got excited with the Streamlabs. Speaking of television, we are also getting a Bel Air TV show. A sequel to The Fresh Prince of Bel Air, a show called Bel Air, is going to be a drama. There was a parody love letter nod to Fresh Prince of Bel Air that was a recreation from the other side. So a kid on the wrong side of the tracks goes to live with his aunt and uncle in Bel Air, and it's a drama about like wealth inequality and gentrification and a lot of really important things that are really fucking topical. And apparently Will Smith loved it, and then he was sharing it, and apparently a lot of people loved it, and now it's getting its own real show. So Peacock picked it up for not 1 but 2 seasons, and I think this is really cool because it combines nostalgia porn with a necessary topical story. We're very big into nostalgia right now. HBO Max is betting on that because they've got their HBO Friends reunion, their HBO West Wing reunion, all these reunions. Now we've got a brand new narrative show based on Fresh Prince, and we've got that live table reading from Fresh Prince reminding us how much we love Fresh Prince, and then there's going to be a dramatic show. So Peacock picked it up for 2 seasons, called Bel Air, and it's a story all about how his life got, flipped upside down. So I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there, we're going to tell, again, the story about that kid from Bel Air. So we'll see. 2 seasons, Peacock, curious. I'm in. Over to what's playing on TV right now. Current television. As we speak, Boys, Season 2, Episodes 1, 2, and 3 are on your TV. You can watch the first 3 episodes of The Boys on Amazon right now. I talked about a brief review on my podcast, Coycast, that drops tomorrow, so I don't want to be too redundant because I also talked about the Marvel's Avengers game, but those are the 2 biggest pieces of news that I had to talk about. So if you're a Coycast listener and a Coycube listener, I apologize this week. There was a fair amount of overlap, but The Boys is everything I wanted it to be, Season 2. Some second seasons of shows don't have me quite the same way. I liked Season 3 of Stranger Things a lot more than Season 2. Honestly, I think Umbrella Academy Season 1 is a fair amount stronger than Season 2, and I was worried about that for The Boys, but so far The Boys is everything I loved about Season 1. Now, I'm only 2 episodes in, I haven't watched the 3rd yet, but the first 2 are gold. I'm going to watch the 3rd and 4th on Friday. I'm going to do in like two episode chunks. And also, I know a fair amount about the end of the season because you're going to see a lot of coverage coming from me, or not a lot. There's going to be some coverage coming from me about a certain set visit for the end of the season. So I know where the season goes, and this show is bananas. It is very much the comic book. The show looks like Derek Robertson's art. The show feels like the insane depravity of the Dynamite series. It is a very good adaptation, and honestly, it kind of like evolves the comic book. It's a lot more approachable. It's the comic's way more grotesque, and that's saying something. The characters are more likable on a TV show. Butcher is way more approachable. Carl Urban manages to blend depravity and charm in a really interesting way. He'd be the perfect Lobo if they ever make a Lobo movie. But Carl Urban as Butcher is inspired. I think Jack Quaid is Huey now in a way I never thought I would, because they literally drew Simon Pegg. Derek Robertson drew Simon Pegg as the character. So it's fantastic. There's new characters this season. The world just gets more immersed this season. The comedy is just as top-notch. The characters are more fleshed out because we had a whole season to learn them, and the actors have played these characters for longer, so it's very much a step up. I think the biggest growth from the comic to the movie for me is Mother's Milk, because I love the character in the comics, but Laz Alonso plays Mother's Milk so incredibly that you know all sorts of weird details, like his Purell thing, and his OCD, and all those things really add to the character. So I really love this show. The suits are terrifying. I mean, we live in it's a meme, but you know, America thinks themselves as Superman, but we're actually much more of a Homelander. We are this aggressive bully that's terrifying when you look in their bright blue eyes, and it's really going to be interesting this season what they address and the commentary on America, because the first season was an incredible commentary on us, and now we're living in a darker time. So I'm really excited for Season 2. It is airing right now on Amazon. I'm not going to give anything else more away. Watch it. If you want to hear more of my thoughts, check out the Coycast for my episode 1 and 2 of Season 2 review. I'll be talking about it every week it airs, so more to come, but the first 2 episodes are delightful. The next episode apparently takes place in a boat. I'm intrigued, and it kicks off with full action. Like, there's no lull to warm the season back up. This season just goes. So check out The Boys. It is everything I wanted Season 2 to be. All right, I'm going to check over on the Streamlabs before I get into streaming recommendations and our comic pull list stuffs. Oh man, I need coffee so bad. Okay, over to pull lists and streaming recommendations. For the week of last week, the week of the 2nd, my favorite comic books from last week were my top 10, I think. Ascender, number 12, a beautiful, beautiful, like watercolor art mixed with this great expansive storyline from Jeff Lemire. I think it's Jeff Lemire. It's a fantastic story. I highly recommend Ascender. It's an indie from Image. Batman 98, continuing the Joker War storyline. That is fantastic. We've got Black Widow number 1, a new Black Widow story. I'm going to interrupt this because my buddy Moda has some hilariousness going on in the chat right now. Parents Just Don't Understand is true. New season is amazing so far. Carl Urban staying here. Moda's the biggest Carl Urban fan I know. And then this was what caught my eye. It's a comic? Oh my god, more to add to the list. Dude, it's a comic from 2006. I read that shit when I was graduating high school. It is an 06 comic that ran like 40 issues under one publisher and then 20 issues or so under another one, and then had some mini-series like Herogasm and stuff that were also great. So it's like 60-some issues. You're about to lose your mind, sir, because you love that show, because Carl Urban, you're about to read Carl Urban as the actual Butcher. And you haven't met Terror yet, you're about to love trench coats even more. Strap in, Moda, you're about to get a hell of a journey into The Boys, and it's a dope comic book. And I'm buddies with the artist. Derek Robertson's a goddamn genius, so enjoy that journey, good sir. The Boys is a great comic book. Black Widow, #1, a brilliant turn on Black Widow from, I think, Kelly Thompson and a new artist, which I did not know, who's fantastic. I should have written that down, I apologize, but that new book, top-notch Black Widow. Cable #4. I'm not big on young Cable, but Jerry Duggan is such a good writer. I'm enjoying this turn anyway. The action's great. The comedy's fun. I don't love young Cable, but I like this book. Coffin Down #6 is if Ernest Hemingway and Hunter S. Thompson took acid together and were telling you folk tales through the distorted vision of drugs. It's a weird book, and I love it very much. God is a Drug. It's a commentary on theology and mortality, and it's depraved and noirish. Check out Coffin Down. It's a really good time. Deceased, Dead Planet #3. Tom Taylor writes the hell out of a zombie book. This is no exception. This book is very, very good shit. Firepower #3. Firepower is my new title of the year. Firepower is my new ongoing of the year. Chris Samney on art, beautiful clean lines, and Robert Kirkman of The Walking Dead and Invincible on a new title that is so good from Image and Skybound. Check out Firepower. It's martial arts and police and fire. Check out this book. Just trust me. All right, Guardians of the Galaxy #6, Al Ewing, always a good time. Hellblazer: The Rise and Fall, also a huge pull this week. Tom Taylor on words, Derek Robertson of The Boys on art. These two together on a Hellblazer book should have happened forever ago. It is such a good time. You can smell the pages. You can hear the accent like ringing through the pages. It is so depraved and lovely. Check out Hellblazer: Rise and Fall. Also, check out Simon Spurrier's run of Hellblazer. They canceled it. We can bring it back if we pick it up enough. Simon Spurrier's Hellblazer is one of the best Hellblazer runs of all time. Sex Criminals XXX Special. This is legit one of the dirtiest books I've ever read. Sex Criminals just ended. This is a denouement. Check it out if you like fucked up shit. It's a good fucked up book. Strange, Don't Be a Child, though, not because I have a problem with you seeing drawn boobs, but because you probably won't get a lot of the references. There's kinky shit in here that I wouldn't have understood 3 years ago, and there's kinky shit in here I don't understand now. This book is depraved and awesome and so funny and dirty as hell, and some of the dirty jokes that are like hidden in the artwork are inspired. It's a fucking good time, literally. Teen Titans Beast Boy is the opposite. It is a young adult book from Kami Garcia and Greg Piccolo, retelling Beast Boy's origin in a really fun way. Highly recommend it. Strange Adventures #5 continues my favorite maxi series of the year. Doc Shaner, Mitch Gerard's on art, Tom King on words, a very interesting tale about Adam Strange that I highly recommend. It's the most cinematic book on the shelves right now. It feels huge. Check it out. We Only Find Them When They're Dead is this awesome new book that is about gods that are floating through space, that they don't find them until they're already deceased, and then they mine them for parts. It's fucked and fantastic. And my final pull for the week is Wolverine #5. Any new Wolverine title, I'm always going to recommend. This one happens to be great. I really enjoyed this issue. Vampires and Frozen Wolverine is a good time. Okay, my recommendations for this week. Tomorrow, the 9th, the books that are coming out tomorrow. I'm just going to read through them real quick. These are the books that I'm picking up this week. Amazing Spider-Man 48, Animal Man Book 2, a reprint of the 30-year anniversary of Grant Morrison's Animal Man. One of my favorite comics of all time. I think it's up there with Watchmen. Animal Man is a brilliant book. Book 2 is out, a 30th anniversary reprint this week. Captain Marvel 21, Empire Aftermath Avengers, Empire Fallout Fantastic 4, Green Lantern Season 2 Book 7, Harley Quinn Black and White and Red #11, Joker Harley Quinn #5, Joker Harley Criminal Sanity #5, Magnificent Miss Marvel 14, Marauders #12, Marvel's Spider-Man Black Cat Strikes #5, Something is Killing the Children #10, Superman 25, Web of Venom Wraith, Wonder Woman 762, loving that Wonder Woman. That book is so good, that title's solid. X Factor #3 and X Force #12 are the books that I am reading tomorrow, and I'm very excited to get into them. It is a solid week in comic books. I can't wait for a lot of those books. Okay, I'm currently reading the Ultimate Universe chronologically. Someone recently asked me where I was in the read-through and where I'm getting this information. Fandom.com has an Ultimate Universe reading order you can check out, so I recommend you check that out to see where I'm at. I'm currently going to be reading Ultimate Thor 1 through 3, Ultimate X-Men 8 through 12, and Ultimate Team Up 14 this week. So I'm like a year into the in-universe canon, and those are the books I'm checking out. So Fandom/Marvel Ultimate Reading List has the whole thing as if they were in order, not release order, but how the story takes place. So Ultimate Origin came out 4 or 5 years into the Ultimate Universe's printing run, but it's the origin of the universe, so I read that first. So I'm reading through it as a story, which is so much fun. Like Ultimate X-Men, Ultimates, Ultimate Spider-Man, when they all combine, it's dope. So I'm reading those. Currently watching The West Wing and Community and playing Marvel's Avengers. You guys know that. I'm almost done with, I'm on season 4 of Community and season 5 of The West Wing. So when I finish those, I'm heading over to Kingdom and some other dope stuff. Streaming recommendations, and then I'll get into the Streamlabs. My streaming recommendations of this week, there's not that many because it's the middle of the month. I recommend on Netflix, dropping on Friday, September 11th, this Friday, How to Train Your Dragon 2, the second movie in my favorite animated trilogy. I think it's the best non-Pixar animated movie, and there's 3 of them. I love these movies, or CGI. How to Train Your Dragon has so much heart and love and beauty. This series is amazing. The second one is on Netflix on Friday. The Devil All the Time, Netflix original, drops on the 16th. That is next Wednesday. The Devil All the Time looks so good, and it's got one of the best casts ever. The cast is insane. It looks like this great Western noir pulp. It looks dope. Check out the trailer. Netflix, next Wednesday, The Devil All the Time. I then recommend on Hulu, on Friday, My Hero Academia, episodes 64 to 76. I'm on episode like 27, 28. I got a long time till I'm there, but My Hero has me, so know that there's more My Hero over on Hulu on Friday. And finally, on Disney Plus this Friday, Christopher Robin, Ewan McGregor, and a Winnie the Pooh story. You're goddamn right, I'm excited. I missed it in theaters, so I will personally be watching that as soon as I get the chance, starting on Friday. So big fan of all those things coming to streaming. Clicking over to the Streamlabs right quick. I'm like 90% sure I'm gonna do a fun Q&A on my birthday, because I think it'd be cool to like spend it with you guys. So I can't go anywhere. Okay, Joe O'Keefe. What up, Joe O'Keefe? I finally got paid. I finally got paid after a significant delay. Not sure yet if I can sign up to your Patreon just yet, Chloe, but I wanted to send my love. Dude, thank you so much. Seriously, like anyone that sends Streamlabs or Super Chats, like you don't know what that means to me. I did not ever plan to be a YouTuber because I had my studio shows and I had to learn all of this. I didn't know what an OBS was at the beginning of this year. I didn't know how to run sound or video. I literally didn't know phones could stream live. All of this is new. And literally like when I lost Collider, like comic book shopping was going to be like once every 2 months. So I effectively lost Collider when we lost Heroes. So I didn't know what I was going to do, and I love doing this, and you guys help me be able to eat. So thank you for any amount you guys send through. It literally is how I'm functioning. So it really means the world, and I save every dollar, and I was able to move, and I literally, I spend it on coffee, food, and rent. I live very, very lean. I have that because it's Sideshow. So thank you for everyone. The support means the world, both by allowing me to do this, but also by the merit that you want to, that I cannot thank you enough. So thank you, Joe O'Keefe. And I'm glad you got your money stuff figured out. Whatever was happening, I know money stuff sucks. And then Wesley Marshall. Wesley's back in the Streamlabs. Any theories on who Kindred is? I haven't heavily read Spider-Man. It's been sporadic through the years. That's fair. I've read this run since it started. I think it's Harry because he calls him Pete. I think it's one of 2 characters, and I hope it's Harry. I think it's either Harry or Gwen. And if they bring Gwen Stacy back, like the regular universe Gwen Stacy back, I'm gonna be pissed. If they ruin, like Gwen Stacy needs to stay dead. I like Spider-Gwen. I think it's a really unique way they brought her back. But Uncle Ben and Gwen Stacy from the 616 universe need to stay dead because they're such an important death. If they bring her back, I'll be really upset. So I hope it's Harry, and I think it's either Harry or Gwen, but I agree with you, the way they say Pete, the Silver Age way Nick Spencer leans, some of the hints they've given, the tie into Osborn, but you remember Gwen Stacy knew Norman as well, so I do think it's Harry, but I'll be really pissed if it's Gwen, and I really hope that answers your question. All right, I think that is everybody, and I think we're gonna be able to wrap under the hour mark, which is always what YouTube likes me to do because of that damn algorithm. But you guys, I had a great show today, even though it is 97 degrees in my apartment. You guys kept me cool. I'm just gonna quickly, it's 53 minutes. So I'm gonna do 2 or 3 minutes of just looking at the chat before I wrap this out and make sure I didn't. Okay. I think it's the first time my mom hasn't made a live chat in a while. The world's back to spinning, y'all. Let's see. Hillian has an interesting point about Marvel's Avengers. Hillian says people don't like the history of the style of game because it has been used to take extra money from players despite the high entry fee. This game does it right though. Yeah, as far as I know, the game's going to continue to give you stuff for free once you pay the upfront price, and I think that's insane because of like the amount of gameplay. I've played for like 20 hours and I'm 14% in. I'm not normal. You could probably beat this game in like 40 hours, but that is so much bang for your buck. I'm having a great time, but I understand the concern, and money's fucking rough. I get it. So I get that perspective, but I think the game itself is fantastic. And if you're going to compare it to other games are expensive too. I do need to get Tony Hawk though. I don't have Tony Hawk and I want it. I keep watching people play and I keep losing my mind because I love Tony Hawk 1 and 2, and then being remastered, hell yeah. I would love, yeah, Tony Hawk's my next foray whenever that happens. Okay, people are excited about Eric Ishii, hell yeah. Let's see. People are saying the generic gameplay system is one of their negatives, but the story being good. Okay, I can see that. I like that the gameplay is approachable, so again, that's one of the unique things about not gaming very often that makes it a benefit for me, but I can see that. And I like that every character like has different moves, like triangle, is it a triangle? Diamond? No. Circles, X, all those different buttons do different shit for each character, but they have the same, like, this is a punch, but the punches are different, and the strength of the punches is different. Like, that all works for me. Let's see. Ian says, I just like the emphasis on microtransactions and loot that doesn't affect your character's appearance, but I like it overall. Just a bit of a money grab that Spider-Man PS4 wasn't. Oh, do you pay for microtransactions? I haven't paid for anything. Okay, if that's the case, I can see that being a thing. Yeah, I can totally see that. All right, I think that is gonna do it. Wesley, I didn't think about Gwen. I agree. Yeah, if it's Gwen, I'm gonna be real pissed, but I really hope it's Harry. Because Harry's come back from the dead plenty of times, and his death was important. Spectacular Spider-Man 200 is a great issue about drugs, and about safety, and about friendship, and about family, and about like brotherhood. But he's come back before, so I definitely think it's a thing. So apparently you can pay for transactions. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to keep playing and not pay for those transactions. That's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to keep loving the game. All right, that is going to do it. And Strange Adventures is a great, great book. Wesley, you got good taste. You got good theories. You got good comics. Everyone that threw in a Streamlab today, thank you so much. Wesley Marshall, Joe O'Keefe, Jimmy Mack, Jesus Gastelum, Vanko, Roman Carlisle, Michael McCarsell, thank you all very much for keeping me fed. And I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I will probably, no guarantee, but I will probably be back next week on Tuesday for a birthday show, but I might not because I might get drunk. So we will see. But the following week, we'll be back with a 2-a-week schedule, probably Tuesdays and Fridays, and the show will be 30 to 40 minutes. So that will be the plan, 30 or 40 minutes twice a week, so you guys will actually be getting more content. Tuesdays we'll preview the comics, Fridays we'll review the comics, Tuesdays will be news from the last few days, Friday will be a summary of the news from the week before, that way we can break up the news as ever. I just put up a Cannibal the Musical review yesterday. I had never seen this movie. It's a comedy from Trey Parker and Matt Stone. South Park's not my cup of tea, but I do see the merit in the film, so I just reviewed that. I will be doing a review for John Getz over this week, so expect that on Friday. And then when I come back after my birthday, we're probably going to be doing 3 or 4 shows a week, bringing back comic books and craft beer, but we're going to do Saga and Spirits. We're going to do hard alcohol and talk about Saga with Jenny Newman probably, as well as more collections. So lots and lots and lots of content coming at you guys very, very soon. In the meantime, thank you for being here. Thank you as ever to Comic Books for existing, and I will hopefully see you next week. But either way, I'll see you online on Twitter and all of that jazz. You guys are amazing. All right, I'll see you soon.